Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we're dampening your re-season spirits with our predictions for 10 sides who could flop in 22-23. Let us know who we're wrong about in the comments, and don't forget to give us your shouts as well. Also, quick one, Patrick wrote this, not me. 10. Leicester City. With over 2 months of the window gone, Leicester City are the only side in Europe yet to bring in a new player, and their major contribution to the summer market has been to see all their stars linked with moves away. Tielemans to Arsenal, Fofana to Chelsea, Schmeichel to Nice, and even Maddison and Barnes to Newcastle United, leaving Rodgers to wonder what his 11 will look like come September. The Foxes were always due for a transitional year, having lost transfer boss Lee Congerton to Atalanta, but the picture has been made bleaker by an 8th place finish and no European football. And with 10 of their 27-man squad out of contract next summer, they need to make money where they can. And that doesn't bode well for a team already in a performance slump, ranking 15th in the Premier League last season for shots per game and 16th by shots against, with StatsBomb suggesting their season merited a goal difference closer to -11 than their eventual +3. Even that overperformance ended up in a 14-point reduction on their tally from the year before, and while Rodgers will hope a fitter squad means better football this term, his inability to find solutions doesn't bode well. His spell at Leicester may be his longest with any team, but we're backing it to end in 22-23. 9. Borussia Moenchengladbach. While Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund are both enjoying solid summers, the rest of the Bundesliga is having a far from promising off-season. Borussia Mönchengladbach only finished 10th last year, with the 8th best XG difference in Germany and the 3rd worst defence, and have entrusted their hopes to ex-Norwich boss Daniel Farke for the coming campaign. Fresh from a mid-season sacking by the Canaries and a month with Krasnodar, his spell cut short by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In such uncertain circumstances, you want stability, but things got worse for Gladbach as they lost Ginter and Embolo this summer for just £11 million put together, 2 men who earned the 3rd and 5th most minutes in the squad respectively last term. After a short-lived resurgence under Marco Rose, the Foals are now leagues behind Leipzig and Leverkusen in the 2nd rank of Bundesliga teams. Continue to waste this transfer window and they could fall further still. 8. Leeds United. We'll be honest, we like Leeds' summer business. Tyler Adams is a fantastic holding mid with room to grow. Brendan Aronson adds pressing and dynamism in the centre, and Roca, Christensen and Sinistera are all smart gambles, the Colombian in particular boasting superstar potential after 3 shots, 2 key passes and 4 dribbles per 90 last year in a 19-goal campaign with Feyenoord. However, it doesn't matter how smart a gamble was if it fails, and Adams has an appalling injury record, while Aronson is 21, expensive, and only tested in Austria. Any or all of these players could fail to click in Yorkshire, and Leeds have no safety net, with key winger Rafinha gone after leading the team in goals and chances created last term, and Calvin Phillips out too, depriving the Peacocks of their passing hub and defensive anchor. A hole they'll want to fill with 2 guys who started just 16 Bundesliga matches between them in 21-22. In a league full of talent, there's little room for error, and Leeds fans are unsettled after a difficult year and a painful goodbye to Bielsa. If Jesse Marsch can't find a working formula quickly, the club could soon have the most exciting squad in the Championship. 7. Chelsea. A little over a year ago, Chelsea were European champions and tipped by many for the title. Now they're in a fight to maintain top 4 status. After the disastrous signings of Lukaku and Saul, followed by the expiring contracts for Rudiger and Christensen, the Blues have spent the summer trying to cobble together any defence at all, let alone improving the team. All while new boss Todd Boehly is learning the ropes in an unfamiliar spot, and Arsenal and Spurs invest heavily. As a result, Raheem Sterling is the only significant addition to the squad, with Koulibaly simply filling in for the departed Rudiger, and a succession of swings and misses at Rafinha, Koundé, De Ligt, Ake and Kimpembe will see the club enter the campaign with a weakened back line, no midfield reinforcements, and Kai Havertz as the sole centre-forward available to Tuchel, a risk given just 1 in 5 of the German's career appearances have come in that slot. And the Blues' attack generated about 3 shots and 0.6 XG less than City and Liverpool each game last year. If Alonso and Werner also join the Stamford Bridge exodus, Chelsea will have lost players who earned a combined 13,000 minutes for them last season, meaning they need to replace a third of the squad's game time. With just 3 weeks left of the window, we're losing confidence. 6. Napoli. Once again last year, a strong start for Napoli failed to translate into silverware. Having conceded just 4 goals in their first 12 games of the season, they were top of Serie A in early December, but a nightmare run saw them lose 3 and draw 2 in 6 match weeks, and they ended up 7 points off the title pace despite the best defence in the league. But we can't currently see a plan to improve in 2023. Veteran centre-half Koulibaly has left for Chelsea for a third of the £100 million he was once valued at, and while the Partenopei have brought in Fenerbahce defender Min Jae Kim, the Korean is far from a sure thing. Plus they've lost Dries Mertens and Lorenzo Insigne for nothing, a pair who registered 11 and 20 league goal contributions respectively, the latter leading the squad. They'll cost the team over 7 shots a match, and given Napoli already rank 5th in Italy by XG, that's a worry, especially with Fiorentina adding Luka Jovic up top and Juve welcoming Pogba, Di Maria and a fit again Chiesa to the lineup. As much as we'd like the Scudetto to head to southern Italy, it seems likely the new year will see another northern coronation. Let's hope the little donkeys can surprise us before the summer is out. 5. Sevilla. In many ways, the story of Sevilla's summer is the story of La Liga beyond the top 2. Money is tight across the board, with 11 of the league's teams spending under £10 million at the time of writing. But while clubs like Real Sociedad are using the little they have on interesting youngsters, Sevilla are standing still, exploring opportunities like Nicolas Pepe and Eric Bailly, but so far only pulling the trigger on Galatasaray centre-back Marcao, hardly a signing likely to replicate last year's title challenge. That's not even taking departures into account, with the £73 million sales of Diego Carlos and Jules Koundé good financial business, but leaving Lopetegui without 2 of his 3 most used players from the previous campaign. And defence was the reason for Sevilla's success, allowing 30 league goals for the best record in Spain, while the attack ranked just 6th. But though it's clear where the problem lies, there have been no offensive signings, and the club may end up running out the same front line, which took just 11 shots per 90 in 21-22, output which placed them 10th in La Liga. Playing it safe is undeniably a better option than whatever Barca are doing, but it's hardly inspirational. Unfortunately for now, Sevilla seem happy to underwhelm. 4. AC Milan. Flop feels a bit strong for AC Milan. We fully expect the Rossoneri to be good, even excellent this season, as Serie A once again bids for neutral hearts with a potential 5-way title clash. But it seems a big ask for the club to retain their Italian crown in 2023 despite strong future planning, with 9 of their 16 frequent players last year being 25 or under. That's because it's less about them and more about their rivals. By underlying numbers, Inter were superior to AC last year, creating 1.1 xG more than their opponents each game to Milan's 0.7, and they've brought back Lukaku over the off-season, while Juve have re-signed Pogba and Roma have added Dybala. By comparison, Milan's captures of Origi, Florenzi and Messias seem a little underwhelming, and even the highly touted Di Kettelera is unlikely to change the destination of the trophy despite 20 goal involvements in 31 starts last year. The Belgian's still just 21 years old and surely due for a period of adjustment in the transition from his homeland's First Division A to one of Europe's finest. A key signing or 2 before the summer's out could yet change our opinion on Pioli's men, but this is a side built to dominate the next decade, not necessarily the coming campaign. The short-termism of Inter and Juve could see them win 2023's battle, even if they end up losing the war. 3. Wolves. Despite a hot start to 21-22, Wolves ended it in howling form. Bruno Lage's men earned 1 win and 5 points from their last 9 fixtures of the season, conceding over 2 goals a game in that time, but their only paid transfers this summer have been permanently signing Hwang Hee-chan and the £21 million acquisition of Burnley defender Nathan Collins, a good prospect, but one for the future rather than an immediate game changer. And make no mistake, Wolves need game changers. Raul Jimenez was their top goal scorer and assister last season, with 6 strikes and 4 created, but he's expected to miss the opening weeks with a knee problem, while backup Fabio Silva has joined Anderlecht on loan, weakening an already ponderous attack. Last year, Wolves managed 10.6 shots a game, fewer than relegated Burnley, and only Norwich took their shots from further out on average, meaning the Midlands outfit were one of just 14 teams out of 98 in Europe's top 5 leagues to generate under 1 xG per game. Of the other 13, 7 were relegated, and even the returning Pedro Neto and Adama Traore will be hard-pressed to change that, having played 1,800 minutes put together over the last 12 months. With just 5 teams using fewer players than larger last season and the new 5 sub rule, depth will be more important than ever, and Wolves are frighteningly shallow. 2. Atletico Madrid. Given Real Madrid winning the Champions League and Barcelona selling off wedges of the club to fund stupid transfers, few people paid attention to Atletico Madrid last season, and that's just as well for Diego Simeone. The Rojiblancos followed their 2021 title win with a poor campaign, scraping 3rd over Sevilla by a point. And despite spending €65 million on Cunha and Rodrigo de Paul, as well as bringing back Antoine Griezmann, they only had the 7th best attack in Spain by XG, trailing offensive giants like Levante and Real Betis. Worryingly, this summer's work is even less promising. Having sold off 34% of the club to make ends meet in 2021, Atleti have spent just £24 million so far this window, bringing in an unknown winger from Portugal, Udinese right-back Molina and Axel Witsel, deemed surplus to requirements at Borussia Dortmund, and now managing only half the progressive passes he did 2 years ago, and ranking in the bottom half of European midfielders for defensive output. They're also burdened with huge wages, with 8 players picking up over £100,000 a week, and Griezmann, Oblak and Koke on north of £250,000 apiece, making their best hope for the future Barcelona going bankrupt. Well, at least they've got a shot there. 1. Everton. After finishing 4 points above relegation in 21-22, Everton needed a big summer, but it's hard to see the plan for staying out of the Championship. Having sold Richarlison, the club have lost a man who contributed 35% of their goal tally last year, and while they've added Dwight McNeil and James Tarkowski, both were demoted last season with Burnley. It's also unclear how good either will be in Lampard's setup. Tarkowski was solid in a well-drilled Claret's back line, but despite their terrible defence, Everton played a high line more often than 10 other Premier League sides. And it's an open question whether the centre-back can adapt. While McNeil produced just 1 goal involvement in 35 starts last year and has never broken 0.3 XG a game. And rather than spending big in the engine room after allowing opponents more middle third touches than any other club last year, the Toffees are instead targeting a return for former star Idrissa Gueye, apparently convinced the 29-year-old Decore and 31-year-old Alan need a player soon to turn 33 to back them up. Perhaps Dele, Gordon or Calvert-Lewin can work enough magic to keep the Merseyside outfit in the top flight. But with Lampard already looking fatigued and losses of £260 million over the last 2 seasons, unless something drastic changes soon, relegation is on its way. So those were Pato's 10 teams that will flop in 22-23. Let us know what you thought though in the comments below. If you want to see more Football Daily content, then click on screen right now. And as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.